Welcome to the O'Leary Project.
Today we answer the question that's been on everybody's mind.
Have you ever wondered why most people are right-handed?
Let's get to work.
So, before we get started in the actual research that we have come across with handedness, I'll just go into a little bit of facts. So 70 to 95% of people are right-handed, whereas 5 to 30% of people are left-handed. Ambidextrous people, the percentage is kind of unknown, so we won't even talk about them.
Sorry, ambidextrous people.
Sorry. A little fun factoid for you is that men are actually somewhat more likely to be left-hand dominant over women, which I find really strange because I actually know more left-handed women than men.
Yeah, that is odd. What we're going to go into is two main categories of research. On the one category, there is research that shows that our handedness is influenced by genetics, whereas the other category suggests that our handedness is influenced mostly by our environment. And we're about to go into both of those categories, starting with genetics.
So, the research on genetic influence of our handedness. So, there was a research that was done that shows that if both of your parents are left-handed, you are 26% more likely to be left-handed yourself. And there was a large study done in 2006. The study was done by Medland and some other research facilities. They took 25,732 families with twins, and they noted that roughly 24%, there was a 24% chance of inheriting handedness from your parents. But both of those percentages are so small that there isn't a very compelling reason to believe that it's totally genetics that plays into our handedness, and just kind of seeing that like identical twins, they have the same genes, they aren't always the same handedness.
Yeah, which brings us to the next portion of research, which is the environmental research. Scientists who believe that our handedness has to do with our environment have split that into two categories, where one is considered cooperative and the other is considered competitive. And that is cooperative environments and competitive environments. The cooperative environment is, well, your workplace, your school, the household that you grew up in. A cooperative environment suggests that everything that's around you was kind of influencing you to use one hand over the other. Typically with right-handed people, you grew up in an environment where your scissors were right-handed, your guitar was a right-handed guitar. Whatever you were using cooperated with that type of handedness and kind of molded you into using that hand. Whereas the competitive environments, well, I'll let Olivia explain that.
So in the competitive environments, a lot of times you strive for being unusual or unique. A lot of times you'll try to have the upper hand. So there was a study that was done in looking at high competitive sports. And in a lot of the sports that they saw, there was a very high percentage of the elite athletes that were left-handed, actually. In baseball, the percentage of elite athletes in that sport was 50%, which is crazy because that's way above what the normal rate is of just the population. And then most of the other sports that they looked at, the percentage of the elite athletes in that one that was left-handed was well over 10%, which again is kind of above what the normal rate is. Yeah. And then in those less competitive sports like golf, it was 4%. So I'm sorry, golfers.
Yeah, we just took a punch at all golfers there. Sorry about that. It's just the facts. So I think we can conclude that it's really hard to answer that question. You really can't nail down one exact factor as to being why there's more right-handed people than left-handed people. There's a lot of reasons out there. There's a lot of evidence out there that suggests why. But ultimately, it might just come down to choice.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the research that we had?
I kind of am just going along with what you just said is, I mean, I'm leaning towards more environmental influence on the handedness because that seems to make a little more sense to me. If you have two right-handed parents, then you're probably going to be right-handed as you grow up because you're going to look at what they're doing and copy that. But it is, I think, sometimes just a matter of choice. Both of my parents are right-handed and the rest of my siblings are, and I'm left-handed. I'm the only one, so I'm competitive, so I guess that gives me an upper hand, but I also can't use scissors, so that's a disadvantage.
Well, there you have it. So now we're going to move on to our game/experiment of sorts, where what we're going to do is have some of the people who in our group are left-handed, not very many, and some of the people who are in our group who are right-handed participate in games or really just skill tests using their non-dominant hand to see how they perform. Just going to do it for fun. Maybe we'll learn something from it. I don't know. We haven't done it yet, but here we go.
On to that.
On to that.
Maybe we
This is my right hand, also known as my dominant hand. This is my left hand, aka my non-dominant hand. This is my right hand and my dominant hand. Left hand, non-dominant hand. This is my right hand, my dominant hand. This is my left hand, my non-dominant hand. It's so weird. Hold on. I need some time to figure it out. I see how she feels about me.
My dominant right hand.
Yay! Beautiful lawn.
My lawn? This is my lawn dominant left hand or non-dominant. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Right, you got it!
I feel like he bucket through that though. You're like,
I'm so disappointed in my left hand.
This is my right hand, my dominant hand. This is my left hand, my non-dominant hand. Oh, I'm doing it with my wrist.
It's a beauty!
This is my right foot. I'm actually left-handed, but this is how I scooter. Dominant. Scooter. This is now my non-dominant leg.
That was my left hand.
This is crazy.
didn't look too bad.
So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be drawing 3 pictures: a person, a house, and a tree. One with our dominant hand and then with our non-dominant hand. And we're going to compare those. It's going to be Elijah, Matt, me, and Jake.
You're writing something too.
And we're writing a sentence at the bottom describing kind of the person, their house, and the tree.
to
waited.
non-dominant.
Yeah. I almost started writing with
Oh
my
boy,
right.
I'm ready.
This is a lot harder just by holding it.
Competition.
This is gonna suck.
All right.
Alrighty, so now the girls are gonna do it. So dominant hand on the left side, non-dominant hand on the right side. We're gonna do the same thing as the guys: house, tree, person, with a sentence underneath it. So, dominant hands, go.
Oh.
Ralph loves his big tree and little house.
Okay.
Soph says, Old Man Frank tells the youngins to scram. Classic Old Man Frank. Terrace says, Bobby loves his house. He looks like he loves his house. All right. Now for non-dominant.
Alright, I need a.
Oh, that means I have to use my right. I don't like this.
I have to use my left.
Okay, this is wrong. Why are we doing this?
I forgot the C in scram.
So it's SRAM.
Yeah.
Old Man Frank told the kids to SRAM with her non-dominant hand, which is her left. Here we have the same thing.
Shove them beside each other.
Yeah. She really did a pretty good job.
Ouch. My bad.
Paris's non-dominant hand. I said her person looks like a dog.
I need to see that.
And then comparing side by side. Oh,
Let me see your dog.
It's supposed to be a
one's mine.
person.
Oh my gosh. It kind of looks like a horse head eating the head of a person.
And there you have it. All right, so that is non-dominant hands versus dominant hands in writing and drawing. I found that pretty interesting. That was pretty good.
We're wrapping up, so hey.
So that was an interesting one, just with the research that we did and the activity. That was fun because it was sort of a competition, but not really, just to see who can not look the worst. I think everybody did a pretty good job. I liked seeing the difference in your dominant hand versus your non-dominant hand.
Yeah, and I've actually been like trying to teach myself to become ambidextrous, so it's pretty good practice.
Awesome. It shows. Yours was pretty good. I liked your mailbox.
Thanks. It was pretty lit, I will say.
So with the research, it was kind of interesting, but not really surprising that there's been a lot of research done on why their right-handed people are more popular. And I found it unsurprising that there wasn't really a clear reason as to why.
Yeah.
As to why there just continues to be more right-handed people. And I think that's just because, like Matt and I were saying earlier, it's kind of just the environment that you're in and the choice you make as a kid. Even though a lot of times you're probably unaware of it, just kind of what your tendency is.
Yeah. And when I was doing the research for it, I wasn't actually all that surprised that there wasn't a lot on it. And it didn't actually surprise me either that most of it is just environmental cause, pretty much. And I mean, I was sitting in here for when you guys were like, doing the video, and I was just listening to it, and I was like, that makes a lot more sense after hearing it, like, instead of just writing it down, just hearing it. And it actually didn't surprise me, though, that more men are left-handed, because I know a lot of left-handed guys, actually.
I actually know more left-handed women.
The only women I can think of that's left-handed is you and Lori, so.
Oh, all right. Well, that about wraps things up. If you like this video, definitely give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what we should do next time, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, all the fun stuff. Like us on Facebook at The O'Leary Project. Follow us on Instagram at The O'Leary Project. Subscribe.
I don't remember what else hasn't been said yet, but like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
I already said all this.
I know, but I'm just repeating it because I can't remember
We should
all that's
stay
been said.
on
Top. See you next week.